Hi dear students, I'm going to prepare some reviews about the exercises here. I'm going to start with exercise 5.4, then maybe some questions about direct proportion and indirect proportion. Here first they increase the given by percent, given percent, and here if I choose, let's say, the 1e, it says 12.5%. 80 by 12.5% means 12.5% of 80 I have to find firstly, which means that 12.5 times 80 is going to be, this is going to be percent times 80, which means that 12.5 times, actually over 100 times 80 it has to be. And here, if we simplify 12.5 time over 100 times, if we simplify zeros here, over 10 times 8, it might be here. And then I'm going to find what is 8 times 12.5. If I multiply 8 times 5, it's going to be equal to 40. This is going to be equal to 0. 8 times 2, it's equal to 16. We had 4 from here. This is going to be 20, and this is 0. 8 times 1 is equal to 8, and we had 2. Then it's going to be equal to 10,000. But since this number is one decimal place, the result should be one decimal place, and then it's going to be equal to 100 over 10, which is equal to 10. When you simplify this 0 and this 0, it should be equal to 10. So 12.5% of 80 is, here, this number it's going to be, which is equal to 10. And then, what we are going to do, it says increase by 12.5%, which means that this is going to be, this is the last part, this is the first part, and second part is 80 plus 10, which is equal to 90. It has to be. Okay, the second question, it's going to be decreasing by, and we are going to decrease 40 by 5%. I want to solve 2b. 40 by 5%, which means that 40 by 5%, 5% of 40 I have to find firstly, then 5%, which is 5 over 100 times 40, and when we simplify this to, it's 200 over 100, which is equal to 2, it has to be. And it says decrease. Since it is decrease, it should be 40 minus 2, not like increase. In increase we are adding, in decrease we are subtracting, which is equal to 38. It has to be, and this is the answer of the question 2b. Here I'm going to solve one exercise about calculate the percentage increase. We are calculating no percentage increase. The numbers are given and how much percent it is increased. We are trying to find this one. So I want to solve 3D here. 3D, and from 30 to it is increased to 31.5 unit. This can be meter, or here the increment between these two, it is equal to 1.5. So 1.5 is how much percent of 30 I have to find that one. So to find the percentage value of the given value, we are going to divide by the whole value, the given value by the whole value, which is equal to 30 here, then times 100, it has to be, this was the formula, given value over whole value times 100 is giving you the percentage of the given to whole. Okay, so what is the percent of 1.5 to 30? We are finding like this. We are going to simplify this one and this one. It's easy for us because this is going to be at the numerator, and it is 1.5 times 10, which is equal to 15. 15 over 3 it has to be. Then the result it's going to be equal to this one here. Actually, there's no need to do something like this. And the operation starts here. Then we are continuing here, which is 15 over 3. That's equal to 5. So the number that you are finding, this is important, ladies and gentlemen. The number that you are finding, it's giving us the percent, which means that this is 5% of the given. So 1.5 is 5% of 30 is going to be the answer. Okay, we are going to look for the percentage decrease. So I'm going to solve here B, again 3, 4B. Let me use different color for that one. Let's use the orange one, and it is 4B I'm solving now. And 80 decreased to 56. 80 decreased to 56, which means that if 80 decreased to 56, it means that the difference between them is 24 units. So 24 is how much percent of 80? To find that one, 24 over 80 times 100 I have to do. And this is percentage decrease, by the way. We are going to find how much percent this decreased. Then the result is going to be equal to, if we simplify this two, it's going to be equal to 24 times 10. 24 times 10 over 8, which is 24 and 8 if you simplify. 24 and 8 if you simplify this one and this one, if you simplify, this is going to be 1, this is going to be 3. Then the result it's going to be equal to, ladies and gentlemen, 30. So it means that from 56, the 24 is 30% of 80, and 56 is the 70% of the 80, by the way, because the left is 56. So from 100%, if you subtract 30%, you are going to get 70%. Now I'm going to continue with the exercise about the direct proportion. Firstly, here there is an example. Let's say a recipe uses 150 gram butter, 500 gram flour, and 50 gram sugar and 100 gram currants to make 18 cakes. And how much ingredient will be needed to make 72 cakes? And in the class I solved this question, and I'm going to solve with the same method again. 150 gram butter and 500 gram flour, and here butter and 50 gram sugar, and 100 gram currant. And by using these ingredients, we are making 18 cakes. So if you want to make 72 cakes, which is 4 times of this 4 times of 18, because 72 is times 18 times 4, it's equal to 72. We have to make all the ingredients, or we have to multiply all the ingredients by 4, which means if it is 18 times 4 is equal to 72, 18 times 4, if it's equal to 72, which means that this is going to be also times 4, which is 400. This is also times 4, which is equal to 200, which is equal to times 4, and that's 2000 gram, which is 2 kilogram. This is gram, so, and actually gram is G only, not with GR, and then, and here 2 kilogram, and the last one is times 4, which is equal to 600 gram. Okay, so with respect to, and this is 200 gram, by the way, this is 400 gram, yes. With respect to 72 cakes, we should use this much. And how many whole cakes could be made by 1 kilogram butter? If you remember here, this is the 150, this is 2, and this is 2A, this is 2A, and I'm going to cut from here, and I'm going to solve 2B. And now this time I'm going to try to understand with 150 gram butter, I'm going to make 18 cakes, and with 1000, because 1 kilogram is 1000 gram, which means that 1000 gram butter, how much cakes? And I'm understanding this is direct proportion because of the increasing on both sides. What I mean increasing on both sides, when you increase the gram of butter from 150 to 1000, it is obvious that I'm going to make more than 18 cakes by using 1000 gram of butter, which means that this is direct proportion. So this is direct proportion. With respect to that one, we are going to multiply the values crossly, which means 150 times x, it has to be 18 times 1000. So the x, it should be equal to 18 times 1000 divided by 150. And if I simplify here zeros, this 0 and this 0, then 100 by 15, I'm simplifying, both divisible by 5. This is 3, this is 20, and this one I'm simplifying by 3 and 18 by 3. This is going to be 6 and this is going to be 1, which means that 6 times 20 is the answer. This is equal to 6 times 20, 6 times 20, which is equal to 120 cakes we can make by using 1000 gram of butter. Okay, this is the example of direct proportion, and I'm going to choose something from here for the indirect proportion. And here 6 people can dig a trench in 8 hours. How long would it take with 4 people? Let's say I'm going to solve the 3a here, 3a, and this is indirect proportion because 6 people, if they can dig a trench, 6 people in 8 hours, 4 people should 4 people should have more than 8. So when you are decreasing the number of people, you have to increase the hour, which means that actually the hour is increasing, logically it has to increase. So we are going to write here, that's why this becomes indirect proportion. In indirect proportion, we are multiplying the variables directly, which means 6 times 8 should be equal to 4 times x, which means 6 times 8 over 4 is equal to x. And if you simplify here 8 by 4, which is equal to 2 and 1. So 6 times 2 is equal to 12 is equal to x, which means that 4 people can dig a trench in 12 hours. So this is indirect proportion. I'm going to give one more example about a train traveling the 100 kilometer and it takes 4 hours for a journey. How long would it take if the train travels by 60 kilometer? I'm going to take this one up and I'm going to solve them here like this. Okay, then I'm solving the question number 5 here. A train traveling 100 km by 5 hours, 100 km per hour by 4 hours. The same distance, we are not changing the distance. If I travel the same distance by 600 km per hour, 60 km per hour, how much it has to be? Again, I'm telling, if we are talking about the distance, let's say here, if it is 4 hours by 100 km, which means that this is 400 km, and 400 km, if you go by 60, you are going to divide 400 by 60 and you are going to find the result. But when you are decreasing the speed, you have to increase the hour, because the time that you are going to pass on the road, it's going to increase, which means that we are going to do like this: 100 times, this is indirect proportion, 100 times 4 should be equal to 60 times x, which is equal to 100 times 4 over 60 is the x, and this is when you simplify these two, it's going to be equal to 40 over 6 hour. But I mentioned you before, you have to simplify the hours, which means that here, fractions, which means that this is 20 over 3 hour it has to be. Okay, this is the last question. It's going to be, it is about dividing the whole into given ratio. Here the size of the angles in the quadrilateral are in the ratio, the sizes of the angles of a quadrilateral are in the ratio 1, 2, 3 and 3. So how much is the one angle, or calculate each size of the angle. Firstly, we need to know the quadrilateral, sum of interior angle of the quadrilateral is 360 degree. We need to remember that one. So we know that sum of interior is equal to 360 degree. Then here we have one portion, two portion, and totally 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 portions we have, which is equal to 9 portion. So 9 portion, if it's equal to 360 degree in the quadrilateral, one portion, it should be equal to 360 over 9, which is equal to one portion. It should be equal to 40. 36 divided by 9, it should be 4. So 360 divided by 9, it should be 40. So one portion is 40, which means that this one portion is 40, 2 portions is equal to 2 times 40, which is equal to 80 degree. 3 portion, it should be equal to 3 times 40, which is equal to 120. So if we write with respect to given ratios, 40 then 80, then 120, and then 120 again. It has to be. With respect to this order, we have to write the angles. Okay, this is the end of the lesson, and I'm going to send the video to you. See you.